Hello, and thank you for taking time to join us again for this session. Our thanks also to Enterprise Europe Network for setting this up. In the next 15 minutes or so, beside learning more about us, who we are, and what are the resources available for you, we'll be covering the essentials of intellectual property, IP in short, and hopefully we'll be in touch beyond this session. Allow me to first introduce myself as well as the IPO briefly. I'm Christabel Koh, and I work for the UK Intellectual Property Office. I'm based at the British High Commission in Singapore, and I advise British businesses on IP matters in the region. So what does IPO do? IPO is an executive agency within the Department of Business, Enterprise, Energy and Industrial Strategy, based in short. It is both rights granting as well as policy making agency. Within the, we also proactively focus on IP education and outreach, as well as supporting IP enforcement in the UK. We have just over 1,400 staff in Newport and a smaller office in London, including 7 IP attaches like myself, located outside the UK, covering various markets and regions who are based in Beijing, New Delhi, Geneva, Sao Paulo, Washington, and Singapore. I would like to cover the agenda, and these are the 3 areas. First, I'll cover what is IP in brief, what are the main types and the importance of IP for business. There are many forms of IP around us in the products we use and in the business you own. That includes your trading logo, your company websites, business know-how, and many more. These are proprietary to you and your company, trademarks for brand identity, and logos that are on your business card, patents for inventions, design for the way objects look, domain names for your website. These days, almost every business would have an online presence in terms of a website, copyright for written and artistic works, and others including confidential information, trade secrets, technical expertise, sector knowledge, and others. One of the takeaways today is to know what are the different forms of IP and intangible assets, so you could identify what are your IP within your business. To give a quick example, your UK or home trademark, patent, and design registration will not protect you in an overseas market. There is no such thing as international copyright, international trademark, international patent, or international design that will automatically protect your rights throughout the entire world. However, most countries do offer copyright protection for foreign works under international agreements, and that is subject to whether the country where you are looking to protect your IP is a signatory to that international agreement. Patents and designs are often granted on a first to file basis. Similarly for trademarks, they are generally granted on first to file or first to use depending on the country. So you should consider how to obtain respective protection before introducing your products or services to overseas market. Now, in terms of IP and beyond, the Singapore IP Office, IPOS, Intellectual Property Office of Singapore, and 8 other ASEAN IP office that are based within Southeast Asia launched an initiative to expedite Industry 4.0, which you have heard Christopher mention about Singapore government's push and support in terms of Industry 4.0. So this particular initiative is for patent applications, and it was launched in August last year. It is a 2-year pilot project. This is where businesses and innovators will enjoy a short turnaround time of 6 months. We also often suggest to business owners consider protecting their valuable IP using cybersecurity solutions, since it is more susceptible to cyber attacks today. Now, looking beyond IP, there are wider regulatory works that will affect how you operate in different markets. Each country has their own set of privacy, data protection, data localization rules, cybersecurity laws, and other related regulations. So that adds on to your know before you go list, before you export. The second area I would like to cover is Southeast Asia in brief, the IPO support and resources available to UK companies. Southeast Asia, if you do not already know, is an interestingly diverse region with high potential business opportunities, but legally fragmented. These numbers make sense during the pre-pandemic days, but is illustrated here to allow you to appreciate the potential of the region when ASEAN as a regional trading bloc makes a comeback. In terms of tools and support, we support British businesses to resolve IP issues worth an estimate of £100 million annually. Since inception in 2012, through one-to-one direct support and business outreach effort like this, the network has reached more than 30,000 businesses wanting to operate overseas. In Southeast Asia alone, we support an average of 1,000 British companies, from micro SMEs, startups, to MNCs, on matters related to IP every year. What we offer to the UK businesses is a free and impartial IP advice. While we are not lawyers, we have member law firms from across the British chambers in the region. IPO is unable to advise you on legal matters, but we will be able to link you up to valuable contacts who are able to provide and help you navigate some of the IP-related risks in the region. Take us as your sounding board to partner with you in your journey. This is a practical aspect of supporting you in your expansion, to take advantage of these free resources, especially in the following slides, to point you to both materials and access to expertise in the local markets. In the next 4 slides, you will see and find a list of resources available to help you understand what to look out for, so that you can navigate the risk of expansion that can cause millions of pounds of loss when trading in the region if you're not careful. There are success cases, and many of such, where there are successful business ventures to the region where they make conscious effort to manage what is proprietary to their company. So here you can see some list of links that leads you to briefs, guides, fact sheets, and guidance. And over here, a session like this is very important because it's the first step to understand the region, first step to understand the countries, the markets, especially what Christopher and James and the rest of the speaker line up to share with you the different aspects and verticals of the area you are working in. So within the UK, IPO also has a list of events. More recently than not, it's all practically virtual. Talk to chambers, we've got DIT colleagues as well with us today. If at all, reach out to Ian, Richard, and Jans. They will be able to link you to experts where in terms of the information that you need. And when you are ready stage, I think that's where 4 and 5 come in, point 4 and 5. When you're a bit more advanced, this is where you start to consult agents, distributors, suppliers on how to safeguard your rights, because you take them as your partner, and that should be part of your business strategy. IP is a subset of the wider considerations you have for business expansion. Finally, on point 5, which I'll share in the next slide, is a list of free platforms that are available at a start, especially when you're small, you're a micro SME, you're a startup. The self-help tools comes in very important, because you do your initial due diligence, know enough, and then you go engage a professional to help you complete the entire due diligence journey. So I'll share a bit more on those tools, such as Asean TM Trademark View, Design View, Patent Scope. And these are the links to the regional IP initiatives within Southeast Asia. What happens is these are databases that cross across the IP offices in Southeast Asia. Take time to explore this platform. The links are here, and a PDF version of it will be shared with you after this session. Try running, for example, a trademark exercise. Each of you would have a trademark or a trade name or a logo. And that's where it's simply by typing in your trade name and see what the results are. And you'll be able to see the status, where it's being registered in Southeast Asia. Do you have to enter the market with a different trade name? Is the mark still alive? It's maintained by someone, or it's dormant? Finally, this is a set of free IPO business suite. It is an online training tool designed to help businesses. They are free to use, and once registered, you will have access to the business-focused resources. So do share these with your team. It's not just about informing your senior management team, but really your middle management, and it goes down to ground staff in the front line, especially your sales team. Right. Finally, I would like to cover some takeaways for you. While you manage your IP, you will need to know also not to infringe on others. This is what I thought will be a good takeaway, or sum up in a slide. After all is said and done, there is a need for a multifaceted approach. You will need a sound IP management and filing strategy in Southeast Asia, as well as understanding the rules of engagement and sector compliance regulations that may affect how you operate, such as local cybersecurity laws and data protection rules. You will also need a proper licensing contract. Who owns it? What is the business model? What data are you sharing or giving away? What rights are you, that is part of the report, that contract? Which fields of use, which territory? Is it exclusive or non-exclusive deal? Is there a right to sub-license? How long is the contract valid for? So all this will encompass in a good contract. On technical publications, precluding others from patenting the same technique by publishing enabled data management technique is one of the ways some industry players do. Pick up defensive strategies from emerging leaders and big boys on how they go about protecting their unique selling point and their core technology. Managing trade secrets, confidential information, if it cannot be reverse engineered, the tactic may require implementation of appropriate company policy and employee agreement language. Consider also how to protect your algorithms, register your trademark early, and you must continue to monitor the market if anyone uses your mark. IP is a private right, and the UK government is unable to enforce your rights on behalf. A common concern for us when seeing UK companies at trade shows in the past, but now more and more virtual trade show, is the trade-off of wanting to make sales by showing your customers advanced technology versus the risk of exposing key aspects of technology to competitors who may also be having meetings with you, who may be visiting your display or e-booth. If you have these issues that then you really need to think about how you can go about training and preparing your sales force, manning a display or participating at the e-booth, not to over disclose into the area of trade secrets. Know your competitors and know who are the players in the market. We have also included a link to a non-disclosure agreement, NDA template, which you should keep a good record of who you sign it with and when you sign it. Now, make a good home run in the expansion journey. There are risks involved in every everyday business decision, including ensuring your IP rights are protected and enforced. We are always at hand to help you with specific issues that you may wish to share with us in confidence. We would like to hear from you after this session. And these are our contact details of the team in Singapore. We will also be very happy to share with you other contacts of other IP attaches in the other markets if you're considering expanding to the wider region. I'm only an email away. That's all from me for now. Thanks very much for your attention.